It comes down to priorities. And I get this because we are constantly bombarded with things that compete for our attention all the time. And as I have gone through the cycle of producing a conference for the last 3 years, I understand that there are lots of competing priorities that people can't make it. So first of all, there's a pandemic. And so people still may not be comfortably traveling. They may not want to be in large crowds, and conferences tend to involve both. The License to Live conference, as you know, was in Philadelphia. It was live and in person. So one, it may require travel for people. Two, it required people interact with each other on a human-to-human basis. And from VIP day to General Conference Day 1 to General Conference Day 2, we definitely did that. But it competes with lots of other things that people are trying to do over the time. And so the idea of this conference is not to just have information saved or archived and only for those who could attend, but we want to spread a little bit throughout. And that's what this next series of podcasts that will come out, the next few episodes will be about. It will be about the conference, the things that you missed, the things you should pay attention to. So when it comes around next time, you make sure you're here and you're going to add to your knowledge base.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to episode 123 of License to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply hit subscribe, and you will be delivered the latest in life and career changes no matter what. So just tune in. You guys know what I mean when I say dissed. Disenfranchised, disgruntled, maybe even displaced. And today, we're going to be talking about License to Live, the conference 2022, and just seeing a little taste of what you may have missed, because I know all of you guys are busy out there, and I know it is tough to take time to get away from all of these things in order to just enrich yourself, reset your life, and move on to another level. And with all of that being said, no worries. We're going to give just a taste of that in this episode, and you're going to learn a bunch just from these clips that we're taking today. So we will get right back into what you missed this summer right after we finish thanking our sponsors.
Something smells good. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up E3 in your cup. Premium organic. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. E3 coffee. Premium organic. E3 coffee.
Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
This is Super Bowl champion Mike Logan, and you are listening to Licensed to Live.
Yeah, you guys really did miss out. I mean, this is the third year we've had this conference. And the last 2 years have been pretty tough because, well, it's been in the middle of a pandemic, and having in-person events can be challenging because people are coming from different vantage points on where their health status may be. They may finally say, we're going to take that trip to Europe no matter what. Sorry, Dr. Jarrett, we can't make your conference. But whatever that may be, there are competing balances. And hey, I know that it's important. We offered 8+ hours of CME for this conference. So there's lots of reasons why you could have used some of this time to create a better professional outcome. But don't worry, because I am going to give it to you here. We had 3 days of power-packed lectures, information, entertainment that really got people to open up and see a different side in their life. And that is why we wanted to bring this conference, because people need a change in their life. And that is what we were in the business of doing at License to Live, the conference. So let's talk a little bit about VIP Day. Now, VIP Day is in person only. We create a safe space. We have non-disclosures, agreements, and all types of things so people can get really down and dirty into the details of what keeps them stuck in their career. And we had a great showing of people that came in to learn and share with us throughout this time. And I even brought in a couple of lectures that we wanted to wrap in to get people engaged around their credibility and what their credibility means, as far as maybe becoming an author or having more authority or getting official degrees from somewhere, maybe even just going into the field of advocacy. There are lots of ways that you can bring your credibility to a sky-high status so that you can continue on with your career in the way that you want to do it, not that someone else will tell you what to do. And on this particular VIP Day, which was sponsored by EH3 Coffee, one of the sponsors of a show and friends of a show. So we thank EH3 for sponsoring VIP Day, which, well, it did provide EH3 Coffee that we were drinking in the Bellevue in downtown Philadelphia, just a block or two away from City Hall. Sipping on a little EH3 makes everybody connect well. And in fact, after they had the coffee on VIP Day, they were looking for the coffee every single day, saying, hey, that's some good stuff. However, I had one of my super friends come in and give a special guest lecture. We had Katie Fehlinger. She is a television personality, a do-it-yourself guru. She is a meteorologist and spent lots of time on television in some of the nation's top 3 media markets, one of which being in Philadelphia for a number of years. And, well, what did we have her talking about? Something that she knows very, very well, and that is connecting with a camera. So let's hear a little bit about what Katie said about ways to reduce glare from your lights if you happen to wear glasses.
There's basically 2 really good ways to take care of this. A third way that's kind of a pain to set up, but the first thing you can do is actually move the ring light just a little bit off to the side, not to the point that you're going to shadow on the opposite side of your face, but just enough that you can eliminate the glare from your glasses. So you can play around with that. The other way that I actually am a bigger fan of is to flip the whole thing around and face the wall. So if you face the direct light away from you, you're still going to be lit, but it won't be shining right in your eyeglasses and give you that glare. So the only thing to keep in mind with that is that if you have like a really crazy colored wall, like a bright blue or green or something like that, it may cast that shade on your skin tone and make you look a little funky. So be cautious of that. But that is my favorite way to eliminate that. Because I also wear glasses, not typically on video, but when I do have to do it, that's a common issue that people have. So those are the best ways that are really simple to fix it. Or, but again, this is a pain, you could set up a big sheet in front of the ring light and it essentially diffuses the light.
And Katie's such a firecracker. She's one of my super friends that shows up at any time. And she really delivered this great message about connecting with the camera through business. And even just that little tip you heard about how to reduce the glare when you're using lights and you're wearing glasses, like many of us do, is golden when you are trying to get that professional appearance. Where we have had to do it so often is through video. And oftentimes it's through video in your own home studio. So that was just one of the many gems that she provided us on that day to help us out. And not only did we talk about television, but we talked about becoming a professional speaker and getting paid for becoming a speaker. And a lot of times what we do as speakers on the stage, particularly if you're a doctor or a nurse or someone with an extreme amount of professional information, we want to deliver a lot of information in our talks. But I took a moment just to frame some of our presentations as professional speakers as well. They should all have an entertainment value. Listen to what I said right here. Entertainment is most often overlooked, particularly by doctors and nurses and professionals, because we are looked at as standing up there with our white coats on, teaching about this, teaching about that, and just giving way more knowledge than most people can even consume over a 45-minute, 60-minute period. But one of your objectives as a speaker should be entertaining. I have this picture of Jay-Z up here when Jay-Z and Beyonce were in town a couple years ago doing a concert. And it was in that moment that I realized what entertainment has become. When you have these gigantic shows with huge productions and lights and all of that. And I'm just watching the people. They're just all into everything that's going on in this arena. And I said, this is why people think about entertainment, but they don't see themselves as entertainers. And so we miss out on that sometimes. And that's one thing that I want you guys to remember about this, because we're thinking that the entertainment thing happens at concerts or roasts or some sort of celebrity thing. But at the end of the day, people, they may want to learn from you, they may want to come hang out, but they want to be entertained. They want something that is going to keep their attention and just make their life a little bit easier. So I don't want you to look over entertainment as you get a little bit of entertainment in each of the presentations you may provide, even if it's highly informational. You're just going to give a little bit of your personality, a lot of the credibility stuff we were talking about, these intrinsic things that you have within you. You need to let your audience know about that. And we jammed that entire VIP day with lots of information, lots of interaction. The participants in VIP Day were all top-notch doctors and nurses and administrators from all across the country who shared their vantage point on a few things. And so that interaction on VIP Day is so special, where people can be vulnerable and share their stories, which help inspire all of us. And that is the beauty with the VIP Day. But the fun didn't stop there. The fun continued on because, well, the next day was General Conference Day 1, and that is when we kicked off Licensed to Live, the conference. And one of our first speakers, Dr. Kina Peppers, a retired Army officer, an obstetrician gynecologist, a budding author whose book is about to be released in just probably a matter of weeks. She came to the stage and told part of her story in her military training that was amazing, and then blew us away with her medical scare that almost prevented her from continuing on as a doctor. So we were hit right in the mouth right away with some powerful, powerful testimony. And here's a little bit about what Dr. Kina had to say on stage.
The Tough Mudder is a race that's basically, when they say mudder, it means in the mud. So it reminds me so much of when I was in officer candidate school, because it seems like they would blow the whistle, you would come running out of the barracks, and as soon as you got to that pile of mud, it was get down. And so you were low crawling through the mud. And this race, the entire race, you were in mud, you were crawling, you were under barbed wire. This one that's right here on my right, there were wires that were hanging down. And when you touched that wire, it would actually zap you. And depending on how much muscle mass you had, you would go to the ground. So, of course, men who were bulkier, which is really funny, men who were bulkier would get zapped and they would literally go to the ground. And some had to low crawl to get out of there. I was, on the other hand, I actually made it from point A to point B. Well, I did get some zaps, but it did not take me to the ground. And then on the other side, you actually had to go up, you had to climb this, and instead of it going parallel, it went up and then it went down. And as you can see right here, that hand just happened to slip right at the end. Just when you thought you were gonna make it, it slipped and I went into the water. Of course, the water is ice cold. But you know that's like life circumstances where you're going along and everything is moving really, really well, and then you take one slip and a fall.
Oh boy, did Dr. Kina really put us in the frame of mind that, you know what, things don't always go as we have them planned. They are sometimes, life gets in the way. We slip and we fall, and we may plunge into that ice cold water, but we have to find our way out and find our way up and continue to find ways to do it again. In fact, Dr. Kina was so expressive on the stage. She talked about her time when she was on the doctor's television show and some really miraculous recovery that she made in her own career as she continues to practice obstetrics and gynecology to this very day. Our next keynote speaker, Katie Fehlinger, a television personality, a meteorologist, a do-it-yourself guru who basically walked away from her job that she was doing very well in to pursue a life of happiness that she built through her own. And she had a wonderful presentation to really help us reset our mindset. And that's something, you know, we talk about on this show all the time. It's something that we all need to do because every once in a while we get in that rut and we can't find ourselves out of that rut. And it all comes back to our mindset. So we will get into what Katie said right after we finish thanking this sponsor.
The time is now to refresh your career. We help doctors, lawyers, executives, and VIPs refresh and restart. Dr. Jarrett's coaching helps you build confidence, gain more credibility, develop more leadership skills, and gain clarity in your career path. Want to climb the executive ladder or branch out on your own? We'll put your career in overdrive. Visit drjarrett.com and sign up for your free strategy session.
And folks, I'm serious about this. Make sure you just sign up We can talk about your situation in detail. We can see what resources we may have in order to get you out of the situation you're in, whether that is you want to do something completely different with your career that you weren't officially trained in, or you just want to get to that next level in the career. You want to be that next level administrator. You want to be a CMO. You want to be a CEO. These are the things that we help people with every day. So make sure you just sign up for a strategy session with me at timewithdrjarrett.com. So back to Katie. Katie has such a great personality. She was made perfectly to be on the opening day stage as we started the License to Live conference. But I want you to hear words from her mouth in which she said and how she began her recovery. And it was all by resetting her mindset.
But the next thing I knew, I had huddled myself in the fetal position under my kitchen island. And I was ugly crying in my empty house to no one, shrieking at the top of my lungs into a void, basically. What is wrong with me? I needed a reset. And it had to start up here. So I had this life that looked great on paper. You know, I had a job that a lot of people would kill for, a lifestyle that worked at face value. But every day I was putting on as positive of a face as I could and smiling through clenched teeth and just trying to get through. And this was the lowest point of my life. I was angry and sad and frustrated and suffocated by my situation, and it was one that I had put myself into. I had spiraled into this depressive slump so low, I legit thought I was never going to get out of it. How in the hell did I get here? Friends, I'm willing to bet that you can identify with some, if not all, of the reasons why I ended up in that horrible low. So raise your hand, or you can just nod your head if this sounds at all familiar. Have you ever felt stuck? Do you find yourself going through the motions sometimes? Are you good at whatever it is you do, but you lack the passion for it? Do you let other people's opinions outweigh your own? When Sunday afternoon rolls around, or however you define the end of your weekend, do you get a pit in your stomach just knowing you have to face another week? Do you feel like you've lost control over your own life, like everyone else but you is in charge of it? Do you make decisions based on what other people think you should do? I'm talking the most minuscule to the most life-altering choices. Are you a bona fide people pleaser? If you're nodding your head or you've raised your hand because you know what this feels like, if you're saying to yourself, OMG, I totally get what she is talking about, my friends, I want you to know I so appreciate what you're going through. I have been in those shoes. I faked my own happiness for a really long time. But I pulled out of the slump I was in. It took a lot of purposeful self-reflection. And make no mistake, it also took a lot of work and strategic planning, but I did it. And I ended up writing a book about it that came out in the summer of 2020. It's called My Happy Place: How I DIY'd My Own Bliss. It actually became a #1 new release on Amazon, and I am so proud to say that it has helped so many people begin to take steps toward finding their own happy place.
Yes, and I know a lot of you guys have had those moments, and you probably still have those moments, and you are wondering, what should I do to get out of this mess? It is something that is so difficult because sometimes you can't see it, but you have to stop. You have to stop and think. And sometimes you have to quiet down all those other thoughts that go in your mind that maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this is going to be too hard. You have to put that aside and continue to do things anyway so that you can reset your mindset and get you going. Warning, warning, warning. Now, before we get into this next speaker, Dr. Carol Penn, she came to the stage and talked about the biological underpinnings of mind, spirit, body medicine, which was absolutely fascinating. But I'm giving you a warning because I know a lot of you guys listen to my show while you're working out. I see you guys putting in that work in the gym. I know a lot of you guys may be listening on your commute to work right now. And I know that the traffic can be bad, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse in our cities now that everybody's going back to work in person. However, Dr. Carol led us through this exercise that may make you feel tired or lose focus on what you're doing. So if you're behind the wheel, you're going to have to hit pause and pick this up when you're in an area that you can do this exercise in, because just listening to Dr. Carol's voice can be soothing and calming and relaxing. And I don't want you guys to get in an accident out there. So Dr. Carol Penn is an incredible physician. However, she came up and started talking about movement and how movement helps the body and how there are lots of biological underpinnings of mind, body, and spirit medicine. And that is exactly what she does. And we were lucky to get her because she flew into Philadelphia that morning from Buffalo, where she was speaking the day before at a ceremony for the victims who were a part of that tragic mass shooting in Buffalo at the grocery store there. And she was one of the leaders in that bit of healing that they did the day before. But she woke up bright and early, flew from Buffalo to Philly, and commanded the stage when she talked about these biological underpinnings. In fact, she led us through this exercise that I want you to go through right now.
So the first thing I'm going to ask everybody to do is just put down your pens and your pencils and all like that. Are y'all ready to do a little experiment with me? Yes. Okay. And I want you to uncross your legs and just sit in a comfortable position. Just really sit. Even push your chair back away from the table for a little bit. Just a little bit. And you're not going to have to see me, so I invite you, when you're ready, to go ahead and close your eyes. Just let your eyes come to a close. Let your hands rest comfortably in your lap. And let's find and notice the breath. Go ahead and take a nice, deep breath in through the nose. Now let that breath go out through the nose. Take another breath just like that, in through the nose and out through the nose. Beautiful. Allow yourself to soften, to relax more and more. Now let's try this breath. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let this second breath go out through the mouth. Kind of like sighing the breath out. Try that again. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And let the breath kind of sigh out. And just notice and ask yourself, which breath felt better? Did it feel better all in and out through the nose, or did it feel better in through the nose and out through the mouth? Now, whichever one felt better to you is the one I'd like you to continue with. So here we go, focusing on the breath. And now as you breathe out, see if you can make the out breath just a little longer than your in breath. You might even want to count to yourself. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, breathe in, and it's okay if you feel sleepy. It's okay if you want to yawn. It's okay, maybe even little tears come to your eyes, or your stomach might growl a little bit. That's all signs that the body is relaxing. Beautiful. And the mind might start to wander, go to other thoughts. That's fine. Just come back to the breath. Now let's add on a little bit. Well, I want you to breathe in, and when you breathe in, imagine the word soft. And as you breathe out, imagine the word belly. So we breathe soft, belly, soft, belly, soft, belly, at your own rhythm, rate, and timing. Beautiful. And just continue that for a breath or two. And now just before we finish, I'm going to ask you to put your hand on your belly, the soft part of your belly, below your navel or your belly button. And when you take a nice deep breath in, see if you can let that belly just soften and balloon up into your hands. And as you exhale, just feel the balloon of your belly emptying out underneath your hand. And breathing in, even see if you can feel it back around in the back body, around your kidneys. And exhale. And again, you can go back to the phrase, repeating soft belly, soft belly, soft belly. Just stimulating that vagus nerve as it exits the brain. As you begin to become aware of the brain-gut axis, that beautiful hookup that we have that allows our body to self-regulate. Let's take one more deep breath. Find a little smile somewhere inside. Let that smile come on up to the corners of your lips. And as you open your eyes, turn to the person next to you and share your smile with one person on either side of you.
So what did you notice about that? If you did that exercise, as I did, both live and in person in the conference, and I did it later while I was putting this episode together, you feel a tremendous sense of relaxation. You may feel like you've left out of this world. When the audience participants started talking about the things that they experienced, it was almost like an out-of-body experience. So think about how you felt during that time as Dr. Carol guided us through that meditation, and realize these are some of the things that you need to have in your everyday life. And as I said at the beginning of the show, this program was packed with lots of speakers who had lots of different information about things that you can do today to change your life. And after listening to this for these 20 minutes today or so, and you're saying, well, how can I see more of License to Live? Well, don't worry. We actually will have the replays available for you. As I said, those who attended received CME credit. There's lots of great information that will help change your practice in medicine or nursing, where you guys are. Or if you're an executive, we even had leadership credits as well. So take some time to think about this and just go to licensetolive.com and you can check out the replay. And we're offering it available to those who listen to this show because, well, right now, those are the only people that know that there is a replay available. So go check it out right now at licensetolive.com. So now that you guys have been relaxed, you've opened your mind a little bit about some of the things that we're doing, this won't be the end of this conversation because I'm going to deliver a little bit more of the conference to you in these next couple of episodes. And personally, this changed my life this year in 2022. It changed my life in 2021. And it changed my life in 2020 when we first did this. In fact, people were saying you should probably do more than once a year. And I said, wait, not so fast. This is so much work. Getting the speakers together, getting the program together, getting people to show up live and in person in Philadelphia. That's really, really hard. I don't want to do all that anymore. But guess what? I am going to do it again The proof is in the pudding, and that's what we will continue to do. We will challenge ourselves. As I ask you guys to challenge yourself, I challenge myself as well. And guess what? It turns into bigger and better things that become manifested in your life. And that's what we want to do, because it is about time to change your life. Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe to License to Live. Hey, and while you're there, rate this episode, let me know what you want to hear about, or simply connect with me on social media at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word doctor, J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T. Hey, and we will see you guys next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.